talking Super Bowl 52.
Slam dunk for you, Rhett.
The Eagles facing a Super Bowl juggernaut. Their defense squaring off against a top 5 scoring offense and the league's leading passer in Tom Brady. But that Philly D has already dispatched a top 5 offense this postseason in the Falcons and has generated more pressures per game than any team in the league this season. As for the league's leading passer, Tom Brady could become the first quarterback to win the Super Bowl and the passing title in the same year. Of course, would be his 6th ring. That's another Super Bowl record in TB12's column. And he did need his 8th career postseason comeback to get his guys to Minneapolis. And the Eagles, along with Brandon Graham.
One for the other hand is his slogan now, instead of one for the thumb from last year.
Brandon Graham trying to lead his Eagles to halt Tom Brady's Super Bowl success.
There's going to be times in there where he's going to have to hold the ball, and we just got to make sure that we don't, as a D-line, don't get frustrated during them times that the ball has been out. We just got to keep coming, and, you know, it's all about our conditioning this week. We got to make sure we condition, because getting off the rock and having that ball come out, we're going to have to get numbers to the ball because, you know, that's like a screen to us almost. And we got to turn and run, and we got to make the tackle.
All right, so Tom Brady's been pretty good against the top 10 scoring defenses this season. Of course, the Eagles, the number 4 scoring defense. He's a perfect 5-0, completing nearly 70% of his passes and accumulating a passer rating just south of 110. So, yeah, pretty good when defenses are at their best. So, Coach Billick, I was talking a little bit about the ability of the Eagles defense to get after the passer, one of their strengths, but maybe not their biggest strength, even though teams didn't run on them a ton this year. They were the league's best rushing defense. How do they continue that success against this Patriots backfield?
Every coach since the beginning of time, coach knows, anytime I faced Coach Spagnuolo, it was always, you're going to stop the run. That's job one. No coach is ever going to want to give up the run. And with the Philadelphia Eagles, the key is the way they fit up. To stop the running game, you can't leave yourself exposed in gaps. You can have good athletes, but if they're out of position, then it does you no good. And the Philadelphia Eagles fit up very well. Here you're going to see right from the get-go. The number count favors the Atlanta Falcons, but what do? They hold off the edge, the linebacker comes up and fills his gap, and then you split the double team. So even though the Atlanta Falcons have the superior angles, the Philadelphia Eagles fit up very well. Now you're going to see you got some big people here now. You got 2 tight ends, you got a big offensive lineman. There again, the number count's not an issue here, but I want you to weigh the way they fit up. Look, everybody takes their gap. Everybody makes sure that they're not going to get that double team. Linebacker steps up, and you bring the secondary in. I'm going to take care of that extreme wide gap in case this bounces outside. Now, you got to love this. Again, you got to have athletes. This is a great job by Brandon Graham. He's slipping on the inside, but he's vulnerable here. If he goes inside and you bounce outside, but what happens? Look at the way the outside secondary comes in and fits up. You've got to be able to not get gashed in the running game by fitting up, and the Eagles are as good as anybody in fitting up that defense.
And as a coach, when you have players that are buying into that, we got to stop the run mentality. Every time I talk to you this year, it's like, hey, we got to stop the run. Then you earn the right to rush the passer. That's really what the Eagles have done a great job of this year. It goes hand in hand. All right, you get them in 3rd and long. Now you get to get after the quarterback. And I tell you what, let's take a little early spotlight look at somebody on the Eagles that kind of flies under the radar. I call him the American badass, but it's Chris Long, somebody you know well. You coached for 3 years with the Rams.
Relentless.
But Chris Long, when you look at the impact that he's had, look at this, 52 defensive pressures, 2nd on the team. I know everybody looks at Brandon Graham and you look at Vinny Curry and everybody else, but this is where he's had a huge impact. 4 forced fumbles. Now, that doesn't always mean you're knocking the quarterback to the ground. Sometimes you could just swipe the ball out, but this is what he does a great job of. It's being able to run this rim, to get that leverage right there and lean in. Look, he's not going to knock Goff down here, but he's going to just strip that ball out right there. That's great coaching, right? Teaching these guys to get there, get the double negative, the sack force fumble. Here he is against Marshall Newhouse, just driving him back, prying him open like a can. And when that quarterback's sitting back there trying to make those deep throws down the field, they're susceptible to this play. We saw it in the championship game. Chris Long, probably the biggest play of that game, obviously turned this game right around, but just a little pressure right there as he's throwing. Now all of a sudden you've got the turnover, it's going for 6 the other way. Chris Long has done a great job. When you look at this Eagles defense as a whole, too, 15 forced fumbles as a defense together. And I think that pressure right there, that's something that you're trying to get. Obviously, you want to push the pocket from the inside, but that edge pressure is another way to influence Tom Brady.
And so Chris Long trying to get to Tom before he unleashes a deep ball to, let's say, Brandon Cooks. Of course, the Patriots acquired before this season began and has been a big addition for this team. But we're not talking about, Tom Brady to Randy Moss circa 2007 deep ball.
Oh, you're going straight cash on me?
But they're actually better. Brandon Cooks with a higher yards per reception than any receiver Tom Brady has ever had for the Patriots. He's been pretty effective.
Yeah, he's bringing up Randy Moss. You did a great job shutting him down.
Still got nightmares of Randy Moss.
In 07, they had the number one ranked offense. I think when you look at what Brandon Cooks has done, 16.6 yards per catch.
Yeah.
That's better than Randy Moss. Better than any quarterback in the Tom Brady area. Per catch. And I think when you look at what Brandon Cooks has brought to this offense, yeah, Tom Brady has done a great job running this offense, but Brandon Cooks and the impact of the deep ball, it's shown up time and time again. As a defensive coordinator, the one thing that probably keeps you up at night is when you've got a guy like this who has straight speed. Now, when you get a corner peeking into the backfield and you've got a safety in the middle of the field, look, Tom Brady, he knows right now where he's going with this ball. I mean, this is a home run all the way, and those type of throws right there happen when you have a burner like Brandon Cooks. This has been a huge addition to this offense, and here he is. This is the play action. This is what the Patriots love to do, right? Big chunks. It allows protection. You see the protection in the pocket for Brady to step up and throw. Now, this is where they do a great job with their personnel and their formations. In the championship game against Jacksonville, we saw that's Telvin Smith trying to cover Brandon Cooks in the slot. All right, that's not ideal. That's not the way you draw it up on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday with the scout team. And this is how they've been able to get these big chunk plays. Maybe not a touchdown there, but it flips the field. So now defenses have to respect it. And what do? You play off. You're scared about the big plays, so now you give up these easy throws because you don't want to let anybody get behind you. Brandon Cooks, he loves the bow and arrow.
Yeah.
He's the deep ball. He's that deep threat that Tom Brady hasn't had for a couple of years. So I know everybody's focusing on the running back side of the backfield. We'll talk about them later in the show. Gronkowski obviously is a big factor, but that deep threat is huge, and it's Brandon Cooks.
And, Coach, I know your Giants didn't get a chance to play the Patriots this year, but you've had plenty of run-ins with TB12. And the best part about giving us your blueprint here for how to stop Tom Brady is you don't have to worry about the Patriots stealing your signals this time, all right?
No, you're right about that. We're not going there.
No, we're not.
No,
Allegedly.
I tell you, we started. Coach Billick started the conversation where any defensive coaches would begin, and that's to stop the run. I mean, and look at the Eagles do that as good as anybody. And when you do that, after you got that taken care of, now it's all about number 12. And we always felt the two things with Tom Brady were affect his targets at the line of scrimmage and hit him as much as you can. And look, we all know that if you can get him off the spot, get a little bit of pressure up the gut, that's ideal. A couple of different ways to do it. We did it with overloaded pressures. Yeah. I think the Eagles can do it with just their front four because they have guys inside that can attack those guards. But when you are talking about affecting the targets, it's about guys getting up in receivers' faces, trying to do something to them at the line of scrimmage to disrupt the timing, which Jacksonville does here a little bit. Got to be aware of the picks. When they do catch it, because they're going to complete passes, make sure you limit the yards after catch. Ideally, and I think the Eagles will do a little bit of this, try to get as many one-on-ones inside on the guards as they possibly can. They're talented. Jacksonville did it here with number 99. They got a quick inside move. He's going to get right in Tom's face, and it limits how Tom can get the ball out right
Reminds
here.
me of Jay Alford right there.
Jay at the end of our game, back there in Super Bowl 42.
Oh, there it
Another
is.
way to do it is to run these overloaded pressures. This is what we did.
That looks familiar.
We had run a lot of strong side, 4 off the strong side, but we changed it here. We used to have Antonio Pierce coming, but
where's he going?
No, he went the wrong way, but we won't say anything about
Kavika
that.
with the vet
Kavika
move.
Mitchell was there, and we did it early enough that we hope we would give them a little bit of indecision in their protections later on in the game.
How many hits and sacks in that game?
I don't remember exactly, Sean, but I'm going to say I think it was 18 and 5 sacks.
Man, I hated you sneaky defensive guys. You're coming up with stuff all the time.
Well, they make all the rules for the offensive guys,
That's right.
And one of Tom Brady's many Super Bowl records are the most passing yards in Super Bowl history with 2,071, but not far behind him there in just 3 appearances. Our guy, the Hall of Famer, Kurt Warner, with 1,156 yards in his Super Bowl career. And our Hall of Famer and Super Bowl champ joins us right now here with Coach Billick. Kurt, glad to have you here with us.
Man, good to be here. I know you guys break down football, so anytime you want me,
You're in, right?
I'm in.
That was a pretty good list of names to be a part of.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad, was it?
That's pretty nice.
That's the great thing about Super Bowls. When they break out one or two of those things during the week, you feel pretty good about yourself.
No kidding. And look, we often talk about graduate-level quarterback work, right? But for a guy in Tom Brady who's been to the Super Bowl 7 times and owns so many Super Bowl records, it's more like PhD-type work that he's with that experience, right, Coach?
When you watch a guy like Brady, when you watch Kurt Warner was playing, what always amazed me as a coach, and it's not like I'm not new to being around this, it always amazed me in your all's abilities, and Tom Brady's as good as anybody. I always say, what on a football field has Tom Brady not seen?
Right.
And his ability to react almost intuitively about, okay, I know what this is. So he knows exactly where he's going with the ball. And an example, you saw that obviously in the championship game. When you look at Tom Brady, there's any number of combinations that he can go to. Here you're going to see Amendola go into motion. Now he wants to go to the top, but he sees at the top right now, it's 4/2, okay? I don't like that number cap. He knows right now, I'm not going there. I know that they're going to void that area, and I'm going to come back to a guy like Danny Amendola, Kurt.
And what they do is it's all about play design, right? He's looking to the left to make sure he moves a linebacker, and then he's right back, knows where his next guy is and where that void in the defense is at.
Now, championship play in the game, the same play. He wants to go to Brandon Cooks at the top. He's got 7-man protection. I'm going to wait it out. I know that's where I want to go. But that natural clock goes no, and I know where Danny Amendola is going to be. I'm just going to put this to the back of the end zone. It's almost like he didn't even have to look.
It's amazing. And, what a lot of people, you read coverages, but you read body language. And when you see a linebacker simply turn his hips, that's when a guy like Tom Brady knows, okay, my guy's open, put it where it has to be.
Now, I put this in. It wasn't like they just drew that up. You got Gronk here in a 2-man combination. Obviously, Brady's going to look at this slant corner flat. He's thrown it a million times. He doesn't like the matchup. He doesn't like the angles that he has here. Same way. Look how quickly it was back to, does this look like the same throw? Amendola back in the end zone, same spot. They practice this in different combinations over and over.
And you love to see the body movement. We always talk about hands and feet having to come together, Coach. You see that every time with Tom Brady. He's looking left. When he wants to come back to throw to the right, his eyes and his feet come back there, allows him to be so accurate.
Yeah, and these numbers tell the story right here. You see a lot of ones
pressure?
here. Yeah, it's okay. What are you going to do, Tom Brady?
Pretty
Let's
good, right?
pressure him. Not so fast.
95.5 passer rating when under pressure, which he probably will be with this Eagles defense, finding themselves here in the Super Bowl, and watching Nick Foles step in at quarterback in Week 15 for Carson Wentz, his first full start there. And look, while Tom Brady may have more passing touchdowns and wins in his postseason career than Nick does in his entire career, it's really about how Nick's been playing the last few weeks. He's got a better passer rating than Brady does in the postseason.
Well, and if you go back and look at the NFC Championship game, I'm not sure a quarterback in the playoffs has played a better game than Nick Foles did in that game. And it's the number of things that he's doing, Coach. It's not just one or two things. I know you've heard a lot of people talk about the RPOs, right, and that's what he's really good at. But I'm going to show you a number of things he did in that last game that you say, man, if he can bottle this up in the Super Bowl, they've got a chance. We talk about the RPOs. This one's simply a number game. 8 defenders, 7 blockers. I'm going to throw. But look at this. He got a guy right in his face. And I want you to watch the accuracy on this, Coach. Can't finish the throw, but right between the numbers to Alshon Jeffrey. That's how you make big plays at big moments. Now you hear one thing that he's done as well as anybody is he doesn't turn the ball over. You see coverage. He's not trying to force it in here. More athletic than a lot of people think, Coach. He's able to get out on the move. And watch this throw on the run. On the money, second level, big play. And then when you start making plays like that, Coach, you want to call plays like this. 23 seconds to go in the half. Easy to take a knee right here. But no, you got confidence in your quarterback. We're going to take a shot down the field. A little double move right here. What we call a little wheel, a little out and up. But watch this throw. Again, time in the pocket, stepping in, accurate throw down the field. Big plays is what they started to get in that championship game. And then I'll just show you one more. We talk about big plays. You call a flea flicker, you know you have confidence in your quarterback. But look at this. This is great coverage by Harrison Smith. I mean, he didn't bite at all, but a perfect throw beats perfect coverage every single time.
And Nick Foles this season on the deep ball, look, his first couple of starts, not great. But as you mentioned, Kurt, in the NFC Championship game, on the money, 4 of 5 on the deep balls and more than 20 yards in the air, and actually had the higher passer rating than any quarterback to come in and face the Patriots in the last 7 times.
Yeah, what we saw in Minnesota, he got big plays out of Ertz. He got big plays out of Agholor, out of Alshon Jeffrey. But Nelson Agholor is a guy that can be a go-to guy, particularly out of the slot. And when you look at the numbers on Nelson Agholor, I mean, you can see why this is going to be so important to him for his ability to go to him. You can see right here out of the slot, which is so huge. 8 TDs from the slot. This is basketball on grass. You had a bunch of guys in your career, Kurt, that you were able to go to in that situation. And obviously, he knows if I go to this guy, I got a pretty good passer rating when I go to him. And why? Well, it starts with those RPOs you're talking about. He knows right now where the voided zones are going to be. He's going to have a quick slant. The quarterbacks love this. Get the ball out of my hand quickly, and here, obviously you get a big play. Now you're going to see just what you talked about earlier. This is kind of an instinctive. Agholor says, okay, he's scrambling. We don't see a lot of this out of Nick Foles. What do you do when you scramble? Somebody's got to go vertical. So he naturally goes vertical. They're beginning to develop that kind of relationship. And then you got to do some of the scheme stuff. This is just a kind of boot and waggle. You fake the play underneath. This is the shallow part of a 3-level throw of the boot and waggles. Again, look at that easy, quick throw, and I'm going to get a big play out of it. And then what am I going to do on top of it? I'm going to run the ball. He's in the inside on a bunch. Watch. You're going to get the seal. Linebacker says, hey, I've seen this before. I'm going to the pitch. He takes off to Bensonhurst, and now we see Agholor getting a big play. So the Eagles have a lot of different players in a lot of different ways that can generate those big plays.
And I love Agholor from the change of pace perspective. That's what he brings. You showed that little, reverse right there. They do the jet sweeps with him. But he's a nice change of pace guy that you always got to know where he is on the football field.
The Eagles will carry the NFL's top red zone offense into U.S. Bank Stadium on Sunday. And a big reason for that success, well, he wears number 86. The Eagles' leading receiver this year, racking up 8 red zone scores this season. Third most in the league. Big Zach Ertz as we send you inside for a closer look with the film room and Sean and Coach.
Welcome to the NFL Films Theater in Super Bowl experience. Coach, everything is bigger at the Super Bowl, including Gronk, who is going to be a huge factor in this game. What makes him so special?
Well, no more so than in the red zone because he had 8 touchdowns on the year. He's been in double-digit touchdowns most of his career. He only was short this year because he missed some games. And let's show you how they're going to work him in the red zone because this is where it gets big. This is a game of numbers, angles, and matchups. So you got 3 at the top. They got 1 on the bottom with Gronk. He's matched up. You have nobody on your defense that's going to match up with Gronk. And here you can see the free safety. He's of no help whatsoever. So Tom Brady's going to immediately go to this matchup right here, and he's going to win 90% of the time. Now we're going to come back. You're seeing a 2-by-2. So they're at the top. They're going to work a 2-man combination. They're going to run a quick corner. Gronk's on the inside on a quick flat. So however they play this, he's going to have an end zone shot near the corner, or he's going to have Gronk with great leverage here, fights off the jam, outside long arms. This is an easy throw. Now we get on the goal line. This is as old as any high school play in football. You got Allen and Gronk in a true tight end or big alignment. They're going to run double crosses. Allen's on the top. He's going to pick for Gronk coming underneath. He could not get more wide open because you can see here, they're all folding in. They get picked off. He's got a wide open here. This is what Brady's looking for. This is as easy as it gets. Obviously, Jim Schwartz and the Philadelphia Eagles have to account for Gronk in the red zone.
Yeah, you mentioned that jam at the line of scrimmage. You certainly want to be physical with him, try to knock him off his route. For Malcolm Jenkins, I know he's looking forward to the challenge, but if you're not paying attention to Gronk in the red zone, you haven't been paying attention to us all year long. Gronk's the most targeted receiver for the Patriots down in the red zone.
Now, the Philadelphia Eagles have got a pretty good tight end to deal with as well.
Yeah, Ertz has been dangerous all season long. 8 touchdowns, Coach. 7 of them, though, with Wentz, just 1 with Foles. I think Ertz has done a great job creating the space for the quarterback in the red zone. As you know, the red zone, everything's tighter, and these throwing windows shrink up quick. But watch Ertz open this safety up right here. Right there, just that little fake to the outside kind of opens him up, gives the quarterback room to drop this dime right here. Now, this is Carson Wentz earlier in the year, puts the ball right on him there, and it's an easy touchdown because Ertz opened him up. Now, another great route right here by Ertz against the safety. Watch the safety's hips. All right, there's the space right there. Ertz gets him to open up his hips the other way, and right now, Carson Wentz knows I've got him.
That's a great indicator for the quarterback when to throw the ball.
Exactly. The timing is there, the rhythm's there. Now, same kind of route, same concept, but this is Nick Foles. Now, they don't have that same rhythm yet. It's a great read by Foles here. He sees the safety in the middle of the field. He knows he's got room to make this throw. Ertz with another good route. The ball's just high. You can't miss these throws right here, especially in the big game. You don't get many opportunities in the red zone. Now, here's the same kind of route concept, same game, and another great route by Ertz here against the safety, Reggie Nelson. Look at him flip the hips, opens up, creates a throwing space for Foles. He just misses high. This is what showed up a little bit at the end of the season with Foles. Not the same rhythm, not the same relationship, and when he misses, he tends to miss high.
Yeah, but clearly getting better as they progressed.
Coach, that progression you're talking about, it hasn't showed up in the red zone, but it has showed up in other areas. And I think when you look at Ertz, I think he's a better route runner than Gronk, and this is what shows it. Now, against the Vikings in the championship game, he took these safeties to task, and their safeties are pretty good. But this is what he's doing such a great job of. out in space. Look at him flip the hips of the safety. He knows right now, I got you. You got him to turn his hips, and you mentioned the quarterback knows. Foles a little late on the throw here, but that space right there against those athletic safeties, this is going to be tough for New England to stop. Now, here he is. This is at the end of the first half. Everybody remembers this play, but that's Harrison Smith right there. He's one-on-one. Now, he's going to fake the out route to the sideline, and with the clock running down, Harrison Smith took a gamble here, but this is a great route by Ertz, and again, it just shows him creating space. I think for the Patriots, it's going to be a tough challenge. A couple of my Rutgers guys, Gronk Harmon and Devin McCourty, they're going to have their hands full trying to keep up with Ertz.
Yeah, I had a pretty good tight end in Shannon Sharp in our Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And what we're going to show you on the next film room is how this opens opportunities for other players on the offense.
All right, so while the Patriots running backs have done most of their damage through the air, the Eagles get it done on the ground, right? Improving to the NFL's second-best rushing attack since Jay Ajayi joined the team after Week 9. Philly actually 7-0 when the combo of Ajayi and LeGarrette Blount combined for more than 100 scrimmage yards. For a closer look at how they get it done, let's go inside the film room one more time with Sean and Coach.
All right, Coach, back in the film room. Let's talk about this exotic Eagles run game. Yeah. They attack you from different angles. They're so athletic. What do you love about it?
The thing I love about this running game is they do a little bit of everything. Here you're going to start with Clement in the backfield. And it's a six-man box. What are you going to do against six-man box? You're going to run against it. Absolutely. They got the number count. You're going to see the tackle pulling all the way around. They got a hat on a hat, and they're going to do this all day long that New England gives them that number count.
It's hard to read the tackle pull for the linebackers.
Absolutely. Now we're in a more conventional alignment. We're in 12 personnel, 2 tight ends. They got Ajayi in the backfield. Now this allows the lineman to get up to the second level. Why? Because I'm going to wham with the tight end and account for the nose guard. Look at how the guards are able to get up to the second level. You get a good gash by Ajayi. Now, they get a little creative too, right? They're going to get another 3 wide receiver set. You got Agholor in this bunch. They are so used to running boots and waggles, they're going to pull the tackle around, and watch what happens. They are so used to running the boots and waggles, they seal on the inside. The backside linebacker takes off to Benzenhurst because he sees the running back bailing out, and now you get a nice trick play by Agholor. And once we're done fooling around with this, what are we going to do? We're going to bring the big boys in. We're going to go 3 tight ends. We're going to use Blount force, LeGarrette Blount. With the 3 tight ends, we're just going to get downhill. Again, bring that tight end back to seal on the backside. That allows us to get push and up to the second level with our offensive line. So they can hit you in so many different ways. It's going to be interesting to see how the New England Patriots try to counter that.
Yeah, it should be fun to see LeGarrette Blount running against his former team. Now, a totally different rushing offense. They faced the number 1 ranked rushing offense last week against Jacksonville. This is much more of a scheme and much more exotic.
The New England Patriots linebackers are going to be a big part of shutting down the running game, the exotic running game of the Philadelphia Eagles, and no more so than Kyle Van Noy. And it's interesting the way New England uses him in so many different capacities. Here he's like a defensive tackle. He's on the line of scrimmage. Now this is a linebacker. He's getting doubled by the center and the guard. He's doing a great job of slow playing this. They ought to be blowing him off the line of scrimmage. But he splits the double team as they work up to the second level, and now he's free to go on and make the play on the running.
Come on, center.
Now you're going to see him as a defensive end. He's on the outside. Here you see the Denver Broncos. They're going to pull the guard. Again, this should be advantage offense. Big old guard coming out here. He plays it perfectly technique-wise. Inside shoulder, leaves his outside shoulder free. Now he's free to work up the field, force the running back into the heart of the defense. He still wraps around and is a part of the tackle. Now you're going to see him in a true linebacker position. They put a solid front in front of him. He's at the linebacker position. Now it's all about reading and reacting. They're going to see that the center pulls. So now he has to recognize, what does this mean? He keeps his vision in the backfield. He sees that the center's pulling. He doesn't abandon his gap until he's sure the play goes to the outside, and watch how quickly he reacts to the outside. So the ability of the linebackers, particularly Kyle Van Noy, to read this exotic running game of the Philadelphia Eagles is going to be a big part of the defense.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see whether the run game ends up setting up that RPO, run pass option, or whether they start out with the RPO to try to set up that run game.
Well, we know the running game is going to be important. If not for any other reason, then it does open up opportunities that if you focus too much on the running game, it opens up for receiving opportunities for these running backs.
Yeah, and Tom Brady loves to throw to his running backs. He's kind of got a law firm. He's got Lewis, White, and Burkhead, and you never know which one's going to attack you, but the mismatches are going to be there. Now, this is Deion Lewis against a defensive end. How does that happen? They catch him in a blitz, but look at how they convert the swing route into a wheel route, Coach.
Unbelievable throw.
Great recognition. They're all on the same page. Tom Brady does a great job of finding that mismatch. Here it is right here. Rex Burkhead against a linebacker, one-on-one. Tell me this route doesn't look like Julian Edelman right here. Right? Shifty, he blows right by him. In the middle of the field, the safety's keying on Gronk. So Brady knows right now, I've got all this room to make this throw, and it's a dime right over the shoulder. Great adjustment by Burkhead. Now, here's Burkhead against the safety, one-on-one. Watch him attack the middle of the field right here with this crossing route. And why is there so much space? They're triple teaming Gronk right here. All right, they're trying to take Gronk out of this play, but Brady says, that's fine. I've got my little Julian Edelman. I've got my little Rex Burkhead, and you can't defend that route right there with a safety with outside leverage. Now you've got both running backs in the backfield, James White and Deion Lewis. One of them is going to get one-on-one with the linebacker, and you see here, runs right by the linebacker. The safety is keying on the tight end here, and there's plenty of room for Brady to make this throw. Now, he's got a great relationship with these guys. It's hard because they all have different route running ability, different speeds. But when you look at these running backs, I think the mismatch really is against these linebackers. Nigel Bradham, Michael Kendricks for Philadelphia. They're going to have their hands full trying to cover these guys.
Yeah, the Eagles trying to prevent the Patriots from going back-to-back again. And Doug Peterson and his staff trying to account for every possibility in the weeks leading up to the Super Bowl. On the sidelines, they'll be trying to adjust for the one thing that might keep them from hoisting the Vince Lombardi trophy. We're talking Eagles fatal flaws with Willie McGinnis and Kurt Warner. Willie, what do you got?
Well, you know, with the Patriots, you give them 2 weeks, they're going to have some type of design plays, and you'll see some things. But the running backs are a big part of that. You saw Hunt motion in from the Z position. They're trying to get a read if the linebacker's playing man or zone. He's playing man-to-man, so here's a simple route, just a flare route, which you turn it up. And then it's good running, which you see a lot from the New England Patriots running backs. So, okay, last time we had them motioned out, we'll put them in the backfield. We'll motion them out of the backfield. You see the guys making adjustments. It's just a little bubble screen right here to get your best players the ball in space. You see a lot of this with Deion Lewis, and then you let the players make plays in space. So you'll see a lot of this with the Patriots and their running backs.
And for me, Willie, you know, in big games like this, especially against the Patriots, turnovers is always the most fatal flaw that you can have. And Nick Foles has done a good job of protecting the football, but they've had a little problem with their running back, Jay Ajayi, particularly. You saw him in the first playoff game, his first carry, ball comes out. 2 turnovers led to the 10 points for the Atlanta Falcons. Can't turn the ball over. And here's the other thing. Patriots love to formation you. You have a back in the backfield, you move them outside. Look at all the questions and confusion you see with the Eagles right here. Nobody knows where they're going, who they're supposed to cover, and you'll watch Kyle Rudolph here ends up running for an easy touchdown right here because of that confusion. And you know the Patriots, Willie, they are going to throw everything but the kitchen sink at them when it comes to formation with all their different guys.
Absolutely. That's a good point. And you saw the linebackers right there. When you try to adjust with the linebackers and you look at the Eagles and what they do, that's the point you want to attack. So you saw that in some confusion, and guess what? Wide open touchdown.
Taking advantage of those flaws, of course, the name of the game. Of course, on the other side of things, the Patriots coaching staff always one of the best at making in-game adjustments, trying to prevent mistakes. But if we're talking about fatal flaws, what might plague them, Sean?
Well, we've been talking about pressure on the quarterback, and everybody says, well, front four. Well, why not blitz Tom Brady? When I went back and watched some of the film from this year, bringing pressure from the safety position, keep those running backs in. Don't let them hurt you and get your linebackers. So you bring a blitz. They were able to get home against Tom Brady. Here you see the free safety one-on-one against James White. James White doesn't hold up. There's a big sack. How about on first and second down? I love getting the safeties involved. Here you're going to see the safety for the Chargers, Trey Boston, coming in on a blitz right now, make the running backs block, and now all of a sudden, on play-action passes, you're getting pressure on Tom Brady. So I say blitz him. We saw the Eagles have success against Atlanta. Look at this pressure right here. Play-action pass. You're bringing the safety McLeod over here on the weak side. Now the running back's got to find a way to get over there. He should have gone right now, but I say blitz Tom Brady. Let's go ahead and be risky. It's easy for me to say as a player. As a D coordinator, you're probably sitting there wondering what to do.
No, fatal flaws got to be the big plays. Let's remember, New England gave up a lot of big plays early in the season. The bunch combination seemed to give them some problems. Here they're going to run double crossers with an underneath route. Look how wide open this corner is. They're very complex in what they do. All of a sudden now, somebody went wrong, all right? And they've given up a number of these type of plays. You're going to look at Tampa Bay. Same way, the bunch combination. They're working the double crossers underneath with the slant on the backside. The corner is open. Now he ends up going back to the slant, which was a quick, easy throw for him. But once again, that deep corner route was open had he decided to go there. So the big plays, that's obviously how Philadelphia has to stay in this game.
Limiting the big plays on the other side of things. All right, for the first time all season, We get to make some picks. It's game prediction time. Sean, lead us off, pal.
Wow, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think the Eagles win. I'll take Philly. Here, we talked about pressure. Here's the one thing that they have. They can close games out with their forming offense. And I think the fact that they don't end up putting their defense back out on the field against Tom Brady is how they win.
Philadelphia Eagles, they've got the front seven. They're playing well offensively. They've got the big plays. They're big on turnovers. I'm never going against Tom Brady. I got to go with Tom Brady.
Coach, what do you think? Anything quick?
Well, look, I'm not going predictions. I grew up in Boston, and I have in-laws from Philadelphia.
Oh, boy.